All right. Hello, guys. Welcome to our webinar. Efrosyni and IMDs here. So firstly, before we rock and roll, let me know that you guys can see me, you can hear me perfectly. I just want to make sure everybody can see and hear me perfectly. Amazing. Awesome. So live to you from London, literally just arrived from Australia yesterday, was in Australia for the last week or so, Vietnam the week before. Guys, I'm telling you, things are on fire right now. Ever since the company made some new changes to their product mix by adding new products with silver a little while ago, the sales are going crazy. Now, I know some of you guys have been watching what's been happening the last 24 hours. And I'll tell you what, being in Asia literally 2 weeks ago and touring around and see what's happening with, you know, the recent situation with the coronavirus, I'll tell you what, sometimes it's crazy how from one moment to the next, things can change very quickly. And I wanted to do this webinar because of two reasons. One, because we've had a certain challenge that popped up. And when challenges arise, champions always adjust. Champions always find solutions. And with every challenge, there's always a new opportunity. Now, next week, we were planning to have momentum in Europe. It was literally going to be one of the biggest momentums in the whole world. Europe was on track in order to have the biggest event. Unfortunately, sometimes things pop up, and when these things pop up, it's not something that we can control. You know, Jim Rohn says it best when he says you can never control the wind. The only thing that you can control and adjust is your sales. You can't control what happens to the weather. You can't control the storm that may come around the corner, but you can always control how you deal with something. So you guys probably been seeing what's happening on the news lately with this coronavirus. And as a result, because of the coronavirus, I mean, what I love about our company, guys, is that it always puts our members first from every single perspective. Even though there are some things that seem to be exaggerated with what's happening in the media around the coronavirus, our company thought it was best and safest for our members in order to postpone momentum. And momentum will not be happening in Turin. The same thing happened to momentum that was happening in Bangkok. The same thing has happened. And for the safety of our members, they decided that for now we'll not hold momentum in Italy. But as leaders, myself, Stavros, some of the other key leaders, along with Marcusetta, we sat there and we thought, okay, we got to come up with a solution here, because we have had so many new members join in the last few weeks, in the last couple of months. And we got all these new people, they need training. So since the company wasn't able, in order to go ahead with this event in Torino, the initiative was taken by some of the local leaders in order to create an event in 2 different markets, to give people 2 different dates that they can actually choose from, that they can jump, you know, they can book. You don't have to do both of these events. You just choose the one that is more suitable to you. Now, before I share this event with you, okay, before I share what's about to happen, because there's been a couple of announcements in the last 24 hours. And I'm telling you, the next 6 months, the next 12 months in World Ventures are going to be record breaking. Before I share this with you, I want to share something with you that happened quite a few years ago. And what's happened in the last 24 hours reminded me of this incident. See, I've been a part of World Ventures for 10 years, and in the last 10 years, I've seen many things happen over the years. And I remember literally in 2010, April 2010, it was going to be our first United, our first international convention. And we had some challenges in Cyprus. We took a few slaps, we took a few hits. And if you're watching this webinar, whether you're watching this live with me right now, whether you're watching the recording, every single business is always going to have different challenges that are going to come. You're going to have some growth, some momentum. At some point, you're going to hit a plateau. And at some points, you may go a little bit down before you go back up again. In every single business. Now, we went through a storm in 2010, and we had some crazy momentum, hit a plateau, and even went a little bit backwards. An international convention was coming up, and 22 of us were planning to go from Cyprus over to Dallas for our international convention. Now, from Cyprus to Dallas, it's an expensive flight. I mean, back then, we didn't even have a booking engine yet, so we actually used a travel agent to book our flights because we had no way that we can actually book these flights from a booking engine of Dream Trips. The booking engine had not been launched yet. We'd barely just experienced our first Dream Trip back then, to give you an idea. So we had used a travel agent to book flights, booked accommodation in Dallas. We each spent about £4,000 each in order to book this trip to United, April 2010. And like what's happened in the last few weeks with this coronavirus, sometimes something that is a force of nature, whatever you believe in, happen. And we had volcanoes in Iceland. Some of you guys might remember that. Volcanoes had erupted in Iceland, and literally all flights through London and around that area were canceled. People were sleeping at airports. They flew into London airport. They could not fly out. And we were meant to go to United. And we get a phone call from our travel agent that we booked the flights. And he just said, look, guys, forget it. There is no way that you guys are going to go to this event in the US. You know, cut your losses. You've lost the money for your flights. It's just the way that it is. Now, even though we were new in World Ventures, we'd only been in World Ventures for about a year then, we started investing in ourselves and in our mindset. And one thing that we've learned, and everybody needs to hear this, one thing that we've learned is that no matter what the challenge is, a leader always finds a way through the challenge, around the challenge, under the challenge. A leader sees past the challenge to the solution to the challenge. Followers look at the challenge and they go, look at that, it's a challenge. Maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe this was meant to happen to stop me from going to this particular trip. That's why a lot of people, guys, live average lives, because when they're faced with the challenge, they see it as an obstacle and it stops them from achieving their dreams. You always have to make that choice, whether are you a leader or are you a follower? Are you a leader that's going to focus on a solution and go, how can I get past this challenge? Or are you going to be a follower and go with the masses and say, well, I tried, because we know we don't get paid for trying, we get paid for doing, not for trying. So I remember sitting around with my brother, George Adamides, And it was a Sunday, and we were meant to fly it on Sunday night from Cyprus to go to London, from London to Dallas. And my parents were getting ready to go to church, and they looked at me and my brother, and they said to us, don't do anything crazy because it's dangerous to fly right now, okay, because of the volcano and the volcanic ash. And me and my brother were sitting there looking at each other going, we need to be at this United. This is our first convention. We need to find a way. So we're looking at each other. We had the world map on our screen. And as we're looking at it, we go, okay, so we can't go through London. We're in Cyprus. Here's what we're going to do. We bought new flights, and we went from Cyprus to Israel, okay, so down, and then across. So a flight that was meant to take us, I don't know, 20 hours, took us 35 hours, so we can get to Dallas. We said, we're just gonna get ourselves to Dallas. Once we get ourselves to Dallas, we will figure out a way to bring the rest of our team over. And that's what we did. We flew to Israel. From Israel, we went to Dallas, went to the offices of Rovia, sat there with the manager and the president of Rovia. We're like, okay, we got 20 Cypriots now, and we have to figure out ways that we can bring them to this event. And they still jumped on the flight, came to London on faith, even though they were told that in London, there's no way that you're going to catch flights out of there. And they were so cold that some of them were sitting there doing like star jumps and things like that at the airport in London in order to keep warm. And we managed to get every single one of them, apart from one, okay? Every single one of them, we managed to get on separate flights, even though we're meant to be on the same flight. We managed to get them on separate flights, and every single one of them, apart from one, managed to make it across to our international convention. Now, why am I telling this to you? I'm saying this to you guys because during that moment, during that convention, through those 21 Cypriots that actually made it across, we've now built an organization of hundreds of thousands of people around the world. I don't know what would have happened if we didn't get to that event. We needed that event. We needed to fill up our batteries, because the reason that we do big events every 3-4 months is because, let's face it, you know, out there, sometimes it can be tough. When you're building your business, you take a few punches. Sometimes you take a few slaps. And once every 3-4 months, you come to a big event, you fill up your batteries, you get inspired, okay? And you build up your armor, because when you're going into battle, you need to have an armor so you can take the arrows, you can take the heats. And as you build your armor strong, you're able to go back out into battle and fight for your dreams and fight for your freedom. So we know this as leaders, and we understand this as leaders. And this is why we said, okay, the people that were booked to come to Momentum, automatically you have been credited with credits in order to come to boot camp, which is going to happen in Europe in June. That's happened automatically. But between now and June is a very long time. So we have decided there's 2 events that are going to be happening that you have the choice to do, okay? One event, one second. One event is happening. I'm just going to share this here on my screen. One event, I believe that some of you may have seen this already, okay? And it's been called The Truth, and is featuring Marka Seda, our Director of Training, and also Knighted Trainers, Stavros, who's currently the #2 income earner in all of Europe, $1 million a year earner. Stavros is going to be the 2nd trainer, and IMD Georgiou is going to be the 3rd trainer. Guys, Stavros and George collectively have built an organization of probably about 200,000 people or so in the last few years. They've been part of World Ventures. Now, this event originally was going to be done primarily designed towards prospects with a presentation at the end. But because of this situation with momentum that has risen, this event will be done like an acceleration training. So acceleration is the building block, is the trainings that we did the first 12 months that I was part of World Ventures. We didn't have momentum and boot camp. They were not themed like that. Every single training was called acceleration, and it was the main basic skills that you needed in order to kickstart your business, to create massive amounts of duplication, to create leadership so you can create freedom. So these are the skills that are going to be taught at this event. So 28th, 29th of March will be in Germany with Stavros, Georgi Orgiou, and Marcus Eda. On top of that, okay, we've added another option, which I'll share with you now as well. So you have two events that you can choose from, okay? Similar event in Bucharest, in Romania, featuring myself, Marcus Eda, and IMD Razvan Dinka. Now, I want to highlight something with this, with regards to these events, okay? These events here, these events are put together by the field guys. This is not something that World Ventures has done. This is something done by the leadership of Romania, by the leadership of Germany, in order to provide a training, a 2-day training at a time where essentially we were not going to have one because of what happened in Momentum. Now, to give you an idea, Momentum in Bangkok that was canceled, people are just coming to either United, our international convention, which is happening in Orlando, or they're coming to boot camp. In Asia, they have not done a 2-day event like this in order to compensate for this. The fact that Mr. Marcus Eda has organized his schedule, so he has rearranged his March calendar to come to Europe for 2 consecutive weekends to do this, it's never been done before. But this is the heart of our company. This is the heart of Mr. Marcus Eda. He wanted to do this because he's really committed, the same as our leaders are, in order to help Europe explode. You guys have probably been noticing that over the last few weeks, there's been some crazy momentum happening because of silver product that actually got announced. And with these links, guys, just so you know, we will be posting the links for these events so you can book in the next 24 hours. Germany is already live. Romania, the link will be posted in the next 24 hours. Now, there's good news and there's bad news, okay? The good news is we have these events to get everybody that was gonna miss out on an event to come and join it. The bad news is the capacity is nowhere near as what the event in Torino was going to have. We had 4,500 people booked to come to Torino already, okay? These 2 venues right now, collectively, the capacity is about 1,800. So it's half the capacity of what the original venues were. So it will sell out, okay? There's no doubt about it. Both of the venues will sell out. Unfortunately, it's the best that could be done at such short notice. This happened in the last 24 hours. So you can appreciate how quickly things got turned around in order to help the team. Now, with what I'm going to share with you guys next, you'll also realize why these events will go quick, because of the new announcement the company also made today with regards to the product. Okay. With regards to Richard's question, how many people can fit Germany? I believe Germany can fit 800 and Romania can fit 900 to 1,000. So both of them together, we're looking at about 1,800 capacity, which is half of what Momentum had. So the company also released some additional announcements today, guys, with regards to silver. Silver, the product, essentially, this enabled us to turn every single no into a yes. Sometimes you get people that watch the presentation and they're sitting there on the fence and they're thinking, oh, I'm only planning to travel maybe once, maybe twice this year. You know, is this membership going to have a key benefit for me in order to get it? And you can literally push them over the edge with the silver product, which today got announced that the promotional price is now here to stay. So $25 in order to buy the silver membership and $25 a month, which was a promotional price. It was meant to be $50 to buy the silver membership and $25 a month. That is here to stay. This just got announced today. Number two, which is very, very, very exciting. When you recommend 4 silver customers now, and you're silver, you can waive your monthly membership. We did not have that until now. So get 4, pay no more also applies to silver membership. If you're a gold member, you can refer 8 silver customers and waive your gold membership. Okay? So that's crazy. Because I'll tell you what, there's been so many people, guys, coming in as silver, so many people that have been sitting on the fence and they said, okay, for $25, let's give it a shot. They get started and they realize the value of the membership when they start using the booking engine, our platform, and those people are now making crazy sales. This week that has just gone past, literally this last week, we popped 12 new senior reps, 5 new directors, and 2 new marketing directors. Saturday just gone. It's already going crazy in terms of sales. There's so many new ranks that are popping. And I'm telling you, once you guys come to one of these events and you really grasp the power of silver, I'm telling you, the momentum is going to be double and triple and quadruple what it is right now. A lot of people have not grasped the power of silver, but it's not just silver. It's silver with ignition, okay? Every single person in your organization should have ignition. Every single person. If they're planning to do the business for $99, they should get ignition. Because for every sale in your organization, from the day you buy ignition onwards, you get an extra point. So we're getting people, guys. I've got people in our team that were pushing to hit senior for so long, and they were putting some people in, some people were dropping, and they just, they were stuck. They were there, going a couple of steps forward, 1 step back, couple of steps forward, 1 step back. And ever since ignition and silver kickstarted, we're getting those people, like literally from one of our teams in the UK, 6 new seniors in 6 days. I'm telling you, markets are gonna go pop like crazy. Africa, because you guys just had momentum. Man, I'm telling you, you guys in Africa right now are really leading the way. But Europe is coming up fast, especially after these 2 events. So get 4, pay no more applies to silver. That's number 1. Number 2, there's a promotion for silver customers that's just been launched. There is a promotion for silver customers. Anybody that is a silver customer, whether they're brand new or whether they just signed up as a silver customer, and they make 1 sale, they get 1 entry into a competition where the company every Saturday will give them 1,000 credits towards a dream trip of their choice. Every week we're going to have a new winner. So I'm telling you guys, there's never been a better time right now in order to introduce silver customers and help them make customer referrals. they will also get points now. Okay, before, if you refer to silver customer, you didn't get anything. Okay, it helped towards your lineage, but you didn't get any referral points. You can get referral points now. So new announcements will be emailed to everybody today by the company. Watch out, there's going to be a video coming out getting released about this as well. And I'm telling you guys, here's what I want to finish off with. And we were meant to also have someone else jump on the call. Hang on one second. Oh, I can see Stavros is in the house. So guys, what I want to do with a very special guest. Stavros, can you hear us?
I hear you guys. I can see you, Efrosyni. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you perfectly. So I just shared with the guys. Thank you for jumping on, Stavros. I know you just finished another call and you're back to back as well. So we shared with regards to the events that is happening in Romania and Germany and the new announcements by the company. But I'd love for you to share your thoughts about what's been happening right now in the last 24 hours. What should someone do coming out of this call as a leader leading up to these events that are happening in March, then United and Boot Camp, before we finish off?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm always saying that there is something magical with that company. There is something magical with World Ventures. And the fact that in less than 24 hours, we put together these events with the lineup, you know, the 90 trainers that we have at these events. And Mr. Mark Caseta coming in Europe is a proof of how powerful the company is, and that for a fact, there is something magical with the company. So, you know, I was sharing a story before to my previous call about Conor McGregor. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Conor. Conor McGregor is a champion MMA fighter, and you know, he was one of the best at his sport. And 2 years ago, he had a fight that he lost against Mayweather, the boxing fighter Mayweather. And then he had another fight that he lost in a row with Habib, a Russian fighter. And even though he was so powerful and one of the best in the world, after losing 2 fights in a row, he got so frustrated and so disappointed that he announced that he's going to quit MMA. He was going to quit fighting, one of the best in the world. So for a year, he was lost, he was frustrated, he didn't know what to do. And then suddenly he was listening to an interview from LeBron James, the NBA player, the basketball player LeBron James, who he was talking about trainings. And he said, yes, I'm working a lot on my skills, but I'm also working and investing a lot on my mind and on me. And he said that I invested more money to work on myself in comparison with the money that I invested on my athlete, on my sport. And he said, if you compare the hours that I put on the field, I can guarantee you I put more hours on trainings. So Conor McGregor was listening to his interview, and right at that point, he had a defining moment, and he took the decision to go and hire a life coach. So he hired Tony Robbins. I don't know how many of you know Tony Robbins, but I believe most of you know who's Tony. And he said, he didn't say how much he paid to hire Tony, but I remember I was in an event with Tony Robbins a few years ago, and in 2015, Tony, I heard him saying that he's charging he's charging more than $1 million to train people, to coach people one-on-one for a year. So he said, you know, you can come to my events, but if you want to work with me, you need to pay over $1 million per year, and I'm going to be your life coach for the entire year. So I do believe that today, 2020, he's charging more than $1 million per year. He's probably charging around $2 million per year or something like this. So Connor paid that amount of money. He got Tony Robbins as his personal coach. He worked on him. He worked on his mind. And on his last fight, he beat up his opponent in less than 30 seconds. I don't remember the exact time, but he finished the game around 30 seconds. So why I'm sharing this story? Not only he finished the game and he won his opponent, he he was totally different from what we got used to see on him. He went and he hugged his opponent. He told him that you are really good. Then he hugged the mother of his opponent, and he said, "Be proud of your son. He's one of the best warriors." He was really humble, and for us that we love the sport, we are following MMA. Uh, we saw uh, Connor coming back, and he said publicly that the one thing that changed him was that this time took the decision to work on him and not only on his job. And that reminds me, the quote of Jim Rohn when he said, "If you work on your job, you can make a living. If you work on yourself, you can make a fortune." And I know that many of you right now, you are doing good building your network marketing organization. You are doing good building your work ventures group. As a matter of fact, I heard Efrosyni said before, the last few days, I can say the last few weeks, we are experiencing a huge momentum in Europe. So here's what I want to tell you. If you want to take it on the next step, you need to work on you. You need to work on your business skills. You need to be a better inviter. You need to be a better closer. You need to work on your mind. You need to work on your posture. And those events that the Efrosyni shared with you are being designed to help you take your business to the next level. We put together these events for a reason. I do believe, and one of my main beliefs is that it doesn't matter what happens to you. What matters is how you react and how you respond. So now we got two choices. We can stay here, do nothing, and wait for boot camp. We can start complaining, whining, crying for the virus and whatever attacked Italy, or we can find solutions. We can step up, focus on the solutions instead of the problem, and find solutions. So I'm suggesting you take the second decision. You take the second choice. You say, okay, I cannot go to momentum. It's not something that I can control. It's not something that you can control. It's not something that we have influence, power to change. And you can say, I cannot go to momentum, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my ticket for boot camp because the company gave it to you anyway if you book momentum. And I'm going to go with my team to be trained at one of those two events. I have to say and make it clear that you don't need to go to both events because are going to be exactly the same. Both events are going to be exactly the same. Same topics, same trainings, exactly the same. So we open two different cities to make sure that we can serve as many people as possible. Some of you, easier access to go to Romania, go to Romania. Some other, it's easier for you to go to Stuttgart, go to Stuttgart, whatever it's easier. But I do encourage you to choose one event and go with your team, to start promoting to your team these events. People are asking me what's magical with Work Ventures, what's your X factor? And there is no doubt from anyone in the world that Work Ventures is the leading company by far. We don't even know who's number two when it comes to travel and network marketing. We don't even know who's number two. And this is not for 1 year. This is not for 2 years. Same thing is for 10, 12 years in a row. Number one company in travel and network marketing. And if you are asking me, what's the reason? Why do you think Work Ventures is doing so good? I'm going to tell you without any doubt that our number one reason, our X factor, the one thing that makes us so powerful is our training system, is our leadership development factory, is the kind of leadership that we have that you cannot find anywhere else in the world. So knowing this, we know that we cannot wait until June for our next big event. We had to act and get all these new members, the silver members, the gold, the platinum, the titanium new members to an event as soon as possible. So if you really want your business to move faster, and it doesn't matter if you're doing good, if you want to go from good to great, if you are not doing good, still, you want your business to go faster, whatever is the situation right now, you want more, you want progress, you want improvement, you want increase, you want something better, I'm telling you that you have to book one of these two events, go there and take your team there. At the beginning, when we were organizing the event, we said that we were going to do personal development events. But now we took the decision that these events will be business events. We will give you new strategies. We will share how you use right now Silver, Dream Givers cards in combination, how you invite better, how you close better, how you duplicate better. And of course, you will experience a lot of motivation, a lot of inspiration, a lot of stories, personal development. It's going to be a combination of everything. So the only problem is that, which is, positive, that we have the strongest, the best, the most powerful lineup that we have right now in Europe. Efrosyni is the founder of the European team, and not only. You got Razvan, one of the most powerful leaders in the world right now. Then you got Giorgio. I don't think that he needs any recommendations. One of the top commanders of Europe. He built one of the biggest teams worldwide. He has four or five IMDs in his team, and myself and Marcus are the legend, the man by himself. The main reason why World Ventures is where it is right now. So to me, there are no excuses acceptable. Some people, they will say, I lost my flight to Italy, I lost some money on hotels, I had tickets I booked, whatever, and they will focus on the excuses, they will focus on the problems. But I'm looking for the ones that they will focus on solutions, and they will say, you know what, I'm going to book the event right now, and I'm going to promote it aggressively, because I know that there is limited capacity, limited seats, limited people that I can take with me. So I want to take over. I don't want to take part, but I want to take over, and I want my team to be at these events. If you're in the second category and you're ready to win big in 2020, don't forget that this is the first event of the year that we are organizing in Europe. Do whatever it takes. Book the event right now. Call all your people before the events are sold out and take them with you. You can choose either Romania or Germany, either Bucharest or Stuttgart. I'm suggesting you choose the one that is easier access to you, and you can be there easier, you can promote it easier, and be there. Prices, I think Efrosyni already talked about prices, is 150 euros plus VAT for both events. Many surprises at the events. I know some of the questions are if we're going to have recognition. Probably yes, we will work something out, we will figure this out, and you'll have more updates the next days. But guys, there are no jokes right now. We are ready to take this thing to the next level, and we need your help like you need our help. So let's do it together as a team. I'm going to be in both events. Probably in Romania, I'm going to come, as a participator. I'm going to come there as a student. I will be in student mode to learn from Efrosyni, Razvan, and Marcaseta. I will be as a trainer in Germany. I would love to see you at one of our events. It's time to take action, guys. No jokes, no any more words. even though we had the virus attacking us, we attacked back. So we need you with us. Let's go and do this. Let's sell out the events, and let's make 2020 the biggest year that we ever had as a team in World Ventures, the biggest year that we ever had as a World Ventures team. Thank you, Efrosyni. I will see you there, and let's go. It's time.